Woo! Good thing you're here for this one tonight, guys. This is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be awesome.
We're going to burn barns.
Yep, live on the tagline.
All of them. We're going to fit them into our little filming space. We're going to burn those barns.
Which is our dining room in our apartment. But behind the scenes, this is what you get when you're here early. Anyways, let's get this started.
Woo!
What's going on, everybody? This is the tagline. Oh, yeah. We are ready for this show tonight.
Are you? Are you, though?
I feel kind of ready.
Are you, though?
I feel kind of ready.
I don't think the chat is ready because there's nobody there.
They'll come. If you chat it, they will come.
That doesn't make any sense.
You know what? I'm trying to reference Field of Dreams. This is talking about movies. We need to talk about movies. I got to reference a movie, Field of Dreams. There you go. Shut up.
You don't even know sports. What are you talking about?
Wait, that was a sports movie?
That was a sports movie.
Oh.
What's going on, everybody? We are the Cinefanatics. My name's Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
And you're here for the tagline. This is the show where the tagline is the title of the show.
Did you think about that all by yourself? Or?
Yeah, months ago.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, woo, that looks pretty right there.
Well, it looks pretty. You're looking at me. Yeah, you are. Please don't call me pretty. You're my brother. That's weird.
I had to correct my my computer down here looking at because it was showing us at 144p. That's not even standard definition.
That's not even definition.
That's a def?
That is hurtful.
That's awesome.
That's shun. That's shun. I'm shunning that kind of bandwidth.
Oh, that's fantastic. Anyways, great way to start this show right off the bat. Can't talk, and doesn't want to talk. In case y'all don't know, if y'all are new to this channel, we are brothers. That would be why down here both of our last names are exactly the same. Not saying that everyone that has the same last name is related.
There's multiple ways that people could have the same last name at this point.
That's true, but that's not the kind of entertainment they came here for this channel for. Anyways, so yeah, we typically talk about movies, movie news. We'll talk about the movie trivia Schmoedown a little bit on this. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We've got some great stuff planned because... Yeah, we're actually having to plan some stuff now. There's nothing going on.
We have to come up with ideas that aren't talking about movie news. Although we got some stuff to talk about tonight for sure. But we're just planning on having a fun time. It's gonna be a lot more fun the more people that show up because there'll be some audience participation. Get to play around with some stuff later. Yep. So first off, we'll answer Jake's question: am I trying to grow a quarantine beard? That depends on how you define beard.
And trying.
No. I'm growing something. I'm not sure it's facial hair at this point. It remains to be seen.
Every time I hear that, like when someone asks, like, "Are you trying to grow a beard?" I always imagine like trying to grow a beard, like you're sitting there concentrating on like.
All trying to grow a beard requires of you is to do literally nothing.
But, I mean, you hear that, and it sounds like it's supposed to be some kind of action that you're supposed to be responsible for.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember back, like, 80s, 90s, the Play-Doh barber, there was the Play-Doh barber thing where you stick the Play-Doh in the thing that has the perforations at the top. You push the whole thing down on a barber chair, and it pushes the Play-Doh out the top, the holes out the top to create hair. Mm-hmm. That's what I imagine when I hear someone say you're trying to grow a beard. They're like, and it all just pops out. Or you do, and your body makes some kind of sound that you don't want heard on camera. That didn't happen.
This is a weird night, y'all. We're gonna be doing a lot of making comments, and the other one's just gonna stare blankly, wondering why. Why is this? Why? Like that, just like that.
Anyways, so how's things been?
Things have been.
Yeah. Things are going. Still going.
Don't know where they're going, but they're going.
Nice.
Just crashing into walls and... I don't know, man. The world is in a state of disarray, and Everyone's tired of hearing about that by now.
Yeah. So I will have to tell you, I'm going to get a little personal on this.
Oh, Lord, do you have to?
Just a little.
I'm going to go pet the cat.
Yeah. Where's she? Oh, she's just wandering around.
Yeah.
I've been, like, getting pretty out of it now.
Pretty out of it.
Yeah, like, I'm just... I'm starting to, like, just not be happy with everything. Just...
You're just now starting to not be happy with everything. There's a worldwide pandemic, and you're just now starting to not be happy with everything.
Well, it's not necessarily that. In fact, here, I'll show you. Give me 1 second.
This is fantastic radio. So, welcome y'all to the stream. And I have no idea what's happening right now.
So
I was not consulted about this beforehand.
I will tell you, like, one of the sources of my frustration is this Hidden Valley Ranch blasted ranch dressing, flavor blasted. This stuff is nasty. And if Hidden Valley Ranch wants to ever sponsor us, don't make this. This is gross stuff. Don't get that. Anyways, I got that the other night. Just been out of it ever since.
Right.
How have you been?
I've been fine because I haven't been eating that ranch.
Oh, so you're doing super.
I'm doing great. I made tacos, and here in Texas, it doesn't matter if it's Tuesday or not. You eat tacos. I still have more tacos. I'll probably eat more tacos after this.
It's actually a part of, like, the staple of food throughout the day.
Although technically it is Tuesday today.
Breakfast, lunch, taco, dinner, dessert, beer.
Well, technically breakfast is a taco, lunch is a taco, and dinner is a taco.
I mean, you could do that.
Beer is not a taco.
Yeah. But you could probably... Oh, you could put beer into a taco. You can make fish tacos with, like, beer-battered fish, and, like, that's not what this channel's for.
This is not a cooking channel. You don't need to know about...
I could talk about food, like, all day.
You need to know about stuff like that.
Anyways, yeah, so here's the thing, and that was, joking aside, we are still stuck in a world where this virus is constantly making news. My thing where I actually am kind of, like, tired, like, some of the stuff, first of all, I'm tired of hearing its name, because every day I hear the name of it, and it's just, I'm just tired of it. And there's certain keywords that are also said every day that I'm tired of hearing. I'm tired of hearing essential or social distancing.
Yeah.
Like, these are phrases that have only come into modern lingo within, like, the past month. And now all of a sudden it is said multiple times a day. And it's kind of like, if you remember back when you were younger listening to the radio, you'd hear that same song play over and over and over again. I know for me was Brandy and Monica's The Boy Is Mine. Every other song was The Boy Is Mine.
Yeah.
And I was a boy and I didn't belong to anyone. So I hated that song.
Wait, you were a boy?
I was a boy back then.
All right, good to know.
So, like, I just was not a fan of that song. So that's what's happening is this is playing over and over and over again. You can't skip, you can't fast forward, but the words, so they're real short and quick, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, from what I can tell, a lot of YouTubers aren't even saying the words anymore, and I don't know if that's, for some reason, like, YouTube is doing this thing where they're starting to take down videos or not pump out the videos that are using the actual words, and I don't know why. It's more YouTube stuff, and YouTube's got issues. But that might be why barely anybody has shown up. But although Malcolm is here, so I want to say hi to Malcolm. Thanks for popping in there, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Outside of that, no one else has really popped in. So I'm blaming YouTube for that. I know SCN was having that issue also. So...
It happens, and I will still say that we're a young baby YouTube channel still.
Sure.
I mean, we're only like 1,200 subscribers as of this video, so...
Yeah, that's not an excuse.
Well, I mean, over time...
You can be at 1,200 subscribers and have a dedicated audience.
You could. Yeah, but I mean, it's still just kind of... It's still young. I don't expect everyone to be flocking. Plus, the two of us in particular... we
are boring!
No... Way to build the self-esteem there, or build up the channel. The two of us kind of work in a space of a lot of creators.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, we'll talk about movie trivia Schmoedown, and that is a particular space full of creators on YouTube that we are affiliated with in some form.
Yeah.
Whether it's like reactors or other after shows. For example, the Call to Action podcast YouTube channel, which we have members of them moderating in our chat, like Jake Yakavetta. So thanks to C2A for that. Go check out the Call to Action podcast. Not right now because you're watching us, but go check them out. They're a great channel. I love those guys. But because of that, there's other people in that space that are also streaming. Typically, they're all streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
So you do lose a part of that. Well, I wouldn't say YouTube is a competition. You do lose some viewership to that.
It's a competition if everyone's live streaming at the same time.
I mean, and that's the thing. And if you're the type of channel like here, I still feel like that we are building up on views and watches and subscribers. Not so much like people like coming and like donating money via Super Chats or Streamlabs, like the link that's up above his head. If you would like to, you can. Those options are definitely available, and it would definitely help us out because there's more improvements and stuff that we want to do with this channel. But
we can't because we're limited in funds, especially right now where everybody is limited in funds.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way of the world right now. So,
got a couple people here. Ed has hopped in here. Ed Haskell, thanks so much for jumping in here and hanging out with us, Ed. That's super awesome of you. And then Tyler's also here.
Yep.
Tyler, one of our mainstays.
Yeah.
In the chat. So glad to have all these guys here with us right now because we're gonna have some fun, and the more participants in the chat, the better it's gonna be.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So for those of y'all in the chat, if y'all are watching right now, feel free to tweet this out. Let people know, hey, we're gonna have some fun here in a little while. People are gonna want to be in the chat for this.
Pull some friends in.
Bring some friends. Call your mom. Let her know. Come hang out with us.
Slap your uncle. Ask him why he's not already watching us. We don't promote violence here on this channel.
Yeah.
It's a friendly slap. It means I love you, and watch the Cinefanatics. We're in a mood tonight.
Anyways, hopefully, with what's going on in the world, we're going to bring, like, some humor, and we'll have some fun movie news. If you like movies, that's why you're watching us, because we're fanatics of the cinemas that are currently not open to see movies in. I still hate the fact that the last new movie we saw was Bloodshot. And like,
no, you don't hate that. That's something I've been saying, and now you're adopting that phrase.
No, I don't like it either, because, I mean, both of us have been on... I mean, you can even watch our review on here because...
Get your own opinions, jeez.
Well, I mean, I can't help if my opinion matches yours.
You thought that movie was alright.
It was alright, but it was like on the side of alright. Would you stop doing that?
What?
That. Whatever that is. Anyways. So, we're going to...
What are you talking
Moving on.
I don't know what he's talking about.
So yeah, we're gonna talk movie news. And why are you drinking soda out of a whiskey glass?
That's not just soda. There is whiskey in there as well.
Okay.
That is a Jack and cream soda Dr. Pepper.
Like Jack cream soda Dr. Pepper. That sounds so good. Wow. Haskell in the chat dialing the cemetery. I mean, I'm glad that you're willing to go those links, but you don't. No,
appreciate the effort.
Yeah, just it's a little morbid.
Yeah.
So those of you who have people, friends, family that are alive, bring them over. There we go.
Yeah. Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead. What was that from? Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Oh, that might pop up again later.
Will it?
Maybe.
I would say I'm gonna pop over to Streamlabs, but it is not loading for me.
Oh, speaking of Streamlabs, I've got that loaded up here.
Oh,
and
there it goes. Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
Okay,
Right, cool.
Anyways, going back. So Vin Diesel gets the last laugh. I mean, here's the thing. Like, his movie came out, and then immediately they're like, oh, yeah, we're also going to postpone Fast 9 for like a whole nother year. So I mean, kind of. He kind of got the last laugh.
Yeah. Also, his beer is destroying the world right now.
Yeah, his beer. Time to switch to Dos Equis, Vin. Just saying.
I'm not always thirsty, but when I am, I don't drink that beer.
Yeah. That would make the Dos Equis guy the most interesting man in the world, though. Like, I'm drinking that one. Oh, sure, blackballed the dead. Sorry.
Well, you know how we do on this channel.
But it's but a flesh wound. Yes, it is. So we get Fast and Furious 9, F9, whatever they want to call this one, because I kind of like the fact, going back into some of these, do you realize that there's like at least one that I remember of that technically did not ever get an official title?
What, the Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah. I think it was like
Fast and Furious?
I think it was like Fast and Furious 6. Like there was Fast 5 and then there's
Fast and Furious.
There's
number 4.
No, not that one. There's the Fast and the Furious.
Fast 6.
There's 2 Fast, 2 Furious.
5.
There's the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Then there's Fast and Furious, which is 4.
Yeah.
Fast 5, which apparently is 5.
Which we expected it to be Furious 6, but it was actually like...
So that was it. That one. The 6th one was like, okay, so is this Fast and Furious 6, or is it Fast 6, Furious 6? They were never official. And I think like the only thing really was like in the movie itself, the car drove by and revealed the title like Furious 6. And that was about it.
I thought it was like Furious 7. I thought 7 took up the Furious title.
And there was that too. So was 7 like Fast and Furious 7 or like...
This is the dumbest conversation in the world.
No, it's dumb, but here's the point of it, is the fact that franchise is so massive, is doing so well still, that they technically do not have to officially title their movies, and people will still go see it.
They can literally just get away with a key on a Windows keyboard.
Pretty much, yeah.
F9.
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 Yeah. So, like, F9... Fast and Furious 9 was postponed, and we've talked about it before. There's a slew of movies that were postponed.
Whole dang year.
But yeah, apparently, I guess there was some more.
Yeah, there's a bunch of movies that have been postponed now. We're about to enter into the first summer, I think, probably in recorded history, at least for a very long time, where there wasn't what would be considered a summer blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
There's still a few there, but I mean, at this rate, they're all pretty much going to get moved. I know, was it Morbius, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Uncharted, and Peter Rabbit? I don't really consider Peter Rabbit a blockbuster, but all those movies got pushed to next year.
Like, they're all moving an entire year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like the Olympics, an entire year.
Yeah, everything, like, we're going to cut 2020 out of our minds, consider it a wash, and start over in 2021.
And
that's nuts.
And I saw someone talking about this so far, and they're like, 2020 is going to be the worst year of movies, but 2021 easily is going to be the best year. We are going to be inundated with movies in 2021.
Well, the question is there's a lot of movies that were already planning on coming out in 2021, and now they have to push around and make room for the 2020 movies that now need a home.
Yeah, either they delayed themselves and they get pushed back, or the studios are going to start readjusting their opinion of like how to make money with it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get there's even a potential, and I seriously doubt business-wise studios are really going to do this, but there might be a potential where you get like 2 movies from the same studio coming out that same weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen because it just still is not smart money.
I think as we move into 2021, the movies that were originally slated to come out that year are going to get pushed around. Mm-hmm. Everything, like nothing is for sure anymore. Everything's going to, all the dates for all the movies upcoming, they're all going to get shifted.
Yeah. So there's that's going to happen, and here, the issue, not really an issue, I would say, is the complication that I foresee happening is for like someone like us that we're still a fledgling YouTube channel. We are fledgling YouTube channel that is essentially, we haven't reached the level where we're getting like preview screenings or critic screenings or anything. We're going to see movies like the night they come out as quickly as possible. See the movie and then shoot a review and hopefully get that review up within a day or two.
I don't know if I'm going to remember how to do a review.
And that's the thing. So, we're coming into a time period now where we're going to have to do like 2 or 3 movies in one weekend.
Yeah.
And get those videos up. Now, I'm not complaining about that because, I mean, it's nice and easy right now. We really, again, we don't have much to do except like tagline and a reaction to the Schmoedown.
Yeah, which is not great, especially if your YouTube channel is trying to grow. It's not good just to have those 2 pieces of content and that's it.
No, I've been watching. We've been losing subscribers.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, that happens. But I mean, we haven't lost a lot. It's going back to where I think people understand the times that we're in,
sure,
and they understand that, like, look, this is still a baby YouTube channel. They're tolerant of it as long as they like our content. They like us personally, which is why I'm hoping people are watching our live stream.
Right. But the issue we have here is that since you're not seeing a whole lot of new movies coming in, and it's the reason why I think all of these got pushed back an entire year and aren't just being delayed this year, and it's why I think even movies that are being delayed are actually eventually just going to get pushed to next year. You're looking at a situation where movie studios are not going to want to fork over the marketing dollars if they're not sure that they can meet a deadline.
Yeah.
The idea is you want your movie to come out in July. Well, we don't know if theaters are going to be reopened in July at this point. So we're not going to start spending money on trailers and pumping out trailers right now when we don't know if the movie's going to meet that release date in July. I mean, we haven't seen anything. I know, like, they put out like the final trailers for Black Widow. They put out the final trailers for No Time to Die. All these movies that are currently still slated for this year.
Now they got to do the final trailer.
Yeah, all these movies that are still slated for this year. You haven't seen any other trailers or any like TV spots or anything for them because they're pulled from the schedule right now.
Final trailer number 2.
Yeah. The final teaser of the trailer that teases the final product of the movie.
This is Final Trailer Junior.
So, I mean, that's the situation we're in right now with movies. So we're not even going to get any trailers to react to because no one wants to spend the marketing dollars to put into their movie when they don't know their movie's going to hit theaters.
Which is sad because here's the thing: there was a lot of movies that I was expecting trailers actually should have been out by now.
Yeah.
I know one of the big ones I was really looking forward to was Bill and Ted Face the Music. The third Bill and Ted movie that was finally coming out. No, not coming out yet.
Not coming out yet. Yeah, and the other thing is that usually creating trailers and being able to even have a marketing team to even do marketing requires people to meet in an office to actually get the work done.
And now they're all probably Skyping or Zooming or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, maybe some of that can be done remotely, but I think a lot of it takes people actually going to work in order to do. Mm-hmm. And people aren't going to work right now because people going to a movie studio aren't essential.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, and I feel like we've talked about this before. Is that with movie theaters being closed, once they open, we're about to see something unprecedented. I don't think we've ever, except for like some random movie theater that is just opening-ish, you've never seen movie theaters open and every single movie is all first run.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, when movie theaters open back up again, they're not going to be playing Onward, The Way Back, Invisible Man, The Hunt. They're not going to be playing these movies that were in the theaters when they closed. Mm-hmm. They're going to open and there's going to be like 5 or 6 movies all opening that weekend. All first run. They're all going to come out. And they're all going to be vying for that number 1 position.
It's going to be a really interesting spot because you're looking at a situation where right now there is, I think I even had it written down. Yeah, right now there are basically 4 tentpoles of the summer that are still standing, and I'm not counting Black Widow in this because right now
standing as in they haven't been pushed back, or
they haven't been pushed back. They're still set. Oh, I say that. No, one of them has been pushed back, but they're still set. They're still slated to come out this summer. Mm-hmm. And those 4 tentpoles are Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yeah.
Tenet.
Yep.
Wonder Woman 84, and Soul.
Now, Wonder Woman has been pushed back, but it's
pushed back,
still within the summer,
Yeah.
the confines of the summer.
It's still slated to come out in August at this point.
Yeah.
So these are the 4 movies that summer of 2020 has left. Everything else is going to be a smaller movie that kind of squeezes in between, tries to gain that little bit of audience that isn't going to see the main movie.
And as we talked about last time, the Wonder Woman 84 was pushed back to August.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much the last attempt at claiming the summer box office.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're already starting to look at, like, this isn't going to start recovering until potentially August.
Now, the good news here, if you can even find any good news in any of this situation, is that...
Sorry, we're being, like, really negative on this. But...
Yeah, we'll get more lighthearted here in a little bit. The good news here is that the summer blockbuster season isn't what it once was. It used to be you release your big summer blockbuster movie in the summer, and that's the movie that everyone's got to go see. Everyone's got to I gotta figure out where I'm framed up here.
Yeah.
That's the one where everyone's got to go see. Everyone's rushing to the theaters, and then the rest of the year is either your art house flicks or your Oscar bait or blah.
Yeah.
Now we're in a situation where the year is filled with blockbusters from January to December. Maybe February doesn't have anything every now and then, but maybe it has a Black Panther. So it no longer matters necessarily that you're not getting your blockbuster out in the summer. You can get your blockbuster out in the fall and the winter, and you'll be just fine. Problem being is that nobody knows if they're going to be able to get their movie out in the fall or the winter this year.
I have no clue. No clue at all as to when a movie could potentially be released.
That being said,
the best superhero this year, Venom 2.
No.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's going to be the only one that's being released.
The good news in all of this, aside from what I just said, was that this is an unprecedented situation, and people look at movie studios and they're thinking, well, all they care about is the dollar. That's why when you see studio get too heavily involved in a movie, the movie tends to not be as good as it probably could be if you just let the artists who are controlling the movie control the movie.
Yeah.
So people look at that and they're thinking, okay, these studios only care about the dollar. They only care about the business side of it. They don't care about, the actual art. Well, all these studios and their big releases now, granted, yes, they are pulling in dollars, some heavy dollars by putting it into theaters. They're saying, hey, no, we're going to support theaters still. We're not going to put our big releases on streaming.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure the theaters are gonna survive this whole ordeal.
I think like Wonder Woman and Black Widow specifically have said, no, we're going to be in the theater. Which those are probably like the 2 biggest movies roughly for this summer.
They're the 2 biggest that are like franchised.
Yeah. Those are going to be
from like Fast 9 also.
Yeah, those are going to be the 2 movies that theaters are going to heavily depend on just for any kind of revenue. And again, for those who know how movie theaters work, they don't typically make too much. They don't really make much money at all off of movie tickets. They make it off concessions. Or if you're a movie theater, say like Alamo Drafthouse based here in Austin, food and beer and alcohol.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Also speaking of which, why do we still have ranch on the table?
Because it's nasty. I want to make sure that we're constantly reminding people that is some nasty ranch.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's we'll ranch break.
You gotta have them.
That's the situation that we're sitting in with movies this year. Do not expect these big movies to be released onto streaming. I would expect that the smaller movies, the ones that maybe some of the ones for the kids, not necessarily Soul, but a lot of the ones for the kids here and there that were kind of what's the term? It's counter programming for the bigger movies. Things that families can go to. That's not necessarily, you're not going to take families to the bigger. Yeah. You're not going to take your family to Tenet.
No.
Because kids are going to be like, what's happening?
I'm going to be like that.
Yeah. A lot of adults are going to look at Tenet.
Let's be honest. That's Christopher Nolan. I'm going to be like, oh, wait, what?
A lot of adults are going to look at Tenet and be like,
huh? That's fully what I expect. I even watched the trailer. We're like, okay.
Sure.
No clue. Gonna go see it.
I
But
think that thing went backwards.
yeah.
Cool.
But
yeah.
but like Trolls World Tour is coming out like already. It's just gonna go straight to streaming.
Yeah, which we probably should do that regardless of the situation. But yeah, whatever.
Well, the first one actually did pretty well. I mean,
Pinky Promise.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referencing because I haven't really sat down and watched that. Yeah, okay.
You've seen the trailers when we saw movies. Back in the day when we saw movies in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 and how many years ago?
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting time to watch how all this builds up. I want to see like how studios react, how theaters react. This is gonna be a lot of fun just to watch like the reactions of how the world reacclimates to like movies now being like back in the news, back in the theaters, something to talk about again.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to watch, and like believe me, I would prefer that we don't have to ever watch this situation.
But this is a situation we've never seen before, we've never been in. I mean, just out of pure human curiosity, it's gonna be kind of interesting to see how this plays out.
It's gonna be really curious to see how the studios and theaters and everything just comes back to normal.
It's like that TV show Mythbusters. Oh, you want to see how a hot water heater explodes out the ceiling of a roof? Well, yeah, I kind of do actually.
Well, now that you mention it,
you can make that happen. I want to see it. Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. Oh, you want to see how theaters react to like all of a sudden all the movies in the theater are all first run right off the bat. I do kind of want to see how that's gonna go.
That's what I was saying. You're in a situation where you could actually see a Black Widow and a Wonder Woman open up next to each other, and it's gonna be perfectly okay. Just in that there's going to be plenty of screens to play both of them on.
Which is going to be great because all we're going to see for like that weekend on for a while is going to be like memes of Black Widow and Wonder Woman just kind of like boxing each other. Because that's essentially what that would be.
That's what that hand gesture means. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a family-friendly hand gesture. Nothing inappropriate on this channel.
You were going with that for a second.
So, anyways, what else is going on in the world?
There's a lot going on in the world. You want to narrow that down specifically?
What else is going on in the world in movie news, I guess?
Not too much else. I guess we can. I mean, it's kind of early. I guess we can move into our main topic. We'll cover through the main topics, and then we'll try to get more comfortable over here. But I'm gonna look weird on camera.
I'm gonna shake the whole table while we're at it.
Yeah, that's what happens. We can kind of get into that, and then we can touch a little bit on the Schmoedown, the one Schmoedown that we got this week, which...
I feel like there was like there was one other like major movie news, and there was something that popped up, and I think it just popped up today. Yeah, and I wanted to...
That's not the headline of the video?
That's not the headline of the video.
Gotcha.
Let me scroll things.
We definitely did not share notes beforehand.
Jeez.
Good radio. So, how's everybody doing out there?
Yeah. Check out the chat. How's the chat doing? I know I saw a couple of new people jump in the chat there.
Kelsey finished a reaction, so she was able to jump in. So glad that Kelsey could be here. Saudi jumped in for at least a little bit. I think she's she's doing her classes and whatnot, so she'll be back a little bit later also, it looks like.
Jeez, I know this was news that like came out today, but I'm like sitting here scrolling and I just don't. Okay, I don't see it there.
I'm trying to think what you could be talking about.
I forgot what it was. I want to say John Roca from the movie trivia Schmoedown.
And from his own channel.
Because he is a person.
He's on his own, running his own channel.
I saw that he was, like, I guess, talking about it on his stream earlier today.
Lower this chair. Well, this is, so once again, chat, how are you guys doing? I'm not getting anything from this one over here, so how are you guys doing?
That's because, so I have really bad ADD, or ADHD,
oh,
I guess.
Yes, he does.
So, unfortunately, I can only, like, really focus on one thing at a time.
Which makes it really good when you're trying to host a show and look up information at the same exact time.
There it is. That's what it was.
So probably shouldn't do that.
So going back to our conversation about Fast and Furious.
Oh, sure.
They've actually confirmed today that they're going to do a sequel to Hobbs and Shaw. Which, if you saw Hobbs and Shaw, you pretty much could guess that there was going to be a sequel. But rumor is that they're going to be adding Keanu Reeves to it.
I'm okay with that.
Potentially as the villain.
I haven't seen him play a villain in a while.
Has he been a villain? Has he been villainous in anything? I'm trying to think real quick.
90s or something? I don't know. He's always played that stoic hero role.
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, so he's going to be apparently a villain in the Hobbs and Shaw, which is going to be breathtaking. And I'm eagerly, here's the thing. The Fast and Furious movies are good.
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw, complete, schlock. That was just, it was fun. It was entertaining, but it was. Yeah.
It was a dumb summer action movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of logical flaws to it. Flaws that were obvious enough that we were sitting in the theater laughing at, how blatantly obvious they were.
I would call them temporal flaws.
Yeah. My favorite, I think we could touch upon real quick. And if you haven't seen this, or if you have watched it and you didn't notice this, go back and watch it because it's hilarious. It's the final fight that starts at night with Dwayne Johnson and his family.
Night. I guess it's got to start in the wee hours of the morning.
It's starting right before the sun comes up. So it's still nighttime.
Technically, they take all night getting ready, and it's and it's already pushing the boundary.
And then Deckard's sister, was it Kirby?
Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah. I guess that's the actress's name.
It's the actress's name.
I can't remember the character's name, but Schmoedown. Anyways, she's got essentially a bomb on her back that's or something that's having to pull
something that's going to inject into her.
She's pulling the thing out of her bloodstream or something. It's got a countdown that starts at 30 minutes when it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And then, so you see this whole fight go on. Idris Elba's bad guy, Black Superman character comes in. They have this whole fight. The sun comes up. It's broad daylight. The sun's hanging overhead because the shadows are directly underneath them.
It's high noon.
It's high noon. And all of when they go back to show Vanessa Kirby with this thing strapped to her back that has a huge clock on it that's counting down, it's moved 9 minutes.
Minutes have passed.
We saw this in the theater, first showing, we're like, that's hilarious.
I remember sitting in that seat going, nope, that ain't real.
That was hysterical. That was one of my favorite. Even it was stupid, but it was one of my favorite things of that movie. It's this is just so.
And here's the thing, that movie it's dumb fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those that you would consider a guilty pleasure because you're guilty for the fact that it's dumb. But it's still fun to watch and whatnot.
Yeah.
AJ Lancaster. How's it going, AJ? Thanks for jumping in. He says that Keanu was the bad guy in The Watcher.
The TV show, Netflix. Is that Netflix that Watcher's on?
Schmoedown.
Well, The Watcher's not a movie.
Oh.
So I don't need to pay attention to it for Schmoedown reasons.
He might be the bad guy in that SpongeBob movie. I don't know. That sage looks pretty nefarious.
That was pretty fun.
I'm a sage and I'm made out of sage.
Which smells a lot like something funky.
Gosh.
Yeah, because I went to the premiere of The Curse of La Llorona at South by last year when there was such thing as a South by Southwest.
Oh, that hurts.
And they had people walking around burning sage, and I'm like,
oh yeah, they were.
Man, there's some people with some good smelling stuff out here.
Some incense.
Yeah, incense. No, it smelled like they were burning the thing that you would burn the incense for. To cover it up.
Weed.
Yes, the grassy grass.
The electric lettuce.
The electric lettuce. Anyways, anyway, so yeah, that was the other piece of news I saw today is that this was coming out and Keanu Reeves was going to be the potentially the bad guy.
That's interesting. I'm actually okay with that. He said The Watcher came out in 2000. He was the bad guy in a thriller that was pretty decent. So.
Okay, so nothing having to do with the. Oh no, I'm thinking The Witcher. I'm way off on that.
Why don't you get up for a second, go toss your coin somewhere, and you can come back later.
What does that have to do with anything?
look, I don't watch The Witcher.
I know The Witcher has something to do with a coin, okay?
I don't watch The Witcher and I know these things. Keep up with pop culture. What's wrong with you?
No, I keep up with...
give you crap for that.
I keep up with pop culture. I just don't play video games. Again, really bad ADD, so I play for like...
It's not just a video game.
I'll play a video game for like 5 minutes and then I'll go do something else.
It's a Netflix show.
Well, That's
hit
now.
Pop culture. Keep up with pop culture because you'd see these things. Get on Twitter every now and then. I'm going to berate him on camera and I don't care.
Look, younger brother.
Younger, but I know more than you at this point, apparently.
Oh, okay. Sure you do.
Age is just a number.
And apparently also is able to grow a full
it's a really
facial hair.
Really old one on you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into this. The big piece of news here, and if you're checking out our headline, you might have seen that and gone, let me look this up myself because I haven't heard about this yet. And you've tried to look it up.
And there was no way you heard about it because we got the inside scoop on this. This is one of the coolest things about this channel. As of right now, we got the inside scoop. They're going to reboot Mystery Men. Mystery Men, which was based off of the Flaming Carrot comics from, I believe it's from Dark Horse, back in the like 80s, 90s.
So this is the knowledge you choose to flex. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're Flexio. Yeah, so they're gonna reboot Mystery Men. That's fantastic.
Which is kind of insane because you gotta think like that's a solid ensemble cast, and you know it makes sense in this day and age. You know, post Avengers Endgame. You know, how are you gonna do an ensemble cast now? A spoof superhero movie. It kind of makes sense.
It would work now because I mean, you look back. Mystery Men came out back in 1999.
Yeah.
We had like the first four or the four Batman movies.
Yeah.
Back 70s, 80s, we had the Superman movies, Supergirl, Howard the Duck. And then you had, going into the 90s, you had Spawn and Blade. And that was pretty much about it. I mean, you had like Steel, The Crow. You had a couple other like comic book movies that were really not well known.
Nobody really wanted to touch the big ones, though.
Yeah, no one wanted to touch anything huge. So Mystery Men got optioned and was released in 1999. And a lot of people still to this day don't realize it was based off a comic book, but it is a fantastic based off a comic book movie.
It was ahead of its time. It was a comedy. And now we're looking at, okay, let's look at the culture that we're in now with superhero movies. What does this movie look like now?
That would be the thing to go back and look. Now that we've had the MCU and how massively successful it is, and the DCEU and how massively it was trying to match the MCU, hashtag release a Snyder Cut. That, by the way, the honest trailers for that. I don't know if you saw that today.
Yeah, I did.
Fantastic. That was
hilarious.
So good.
It was a nice April Fool's.
Yeah, ish. Yeah. I didn't even think of April Fool's. I just thought it was like just a fun like little gag to just like, let's do the honest trailer for the Snyder Cut, even though it's not coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this will be a prime opportunity now that we've been inundated with superhero movies.
Yeah.
A great time to release something like that.
It would be. It would be a great time to release something like that.
Absolutely.
It would be fantastic.
If it was actually coming out.
If it was real.
Yeah. So, in regards to April Fool's Day jokes...
You guys got clickbaited!
Yeah, sorry, we clickbaited just a little bit there. As of right now,
and anybody with half a brain would have known that already.
Well, don't insult the audience.
I'm not. I'm saying they're all smart enough. They're all aware of our gag before we even busted it out.
So, yeah, unfortunately, there is no real official news of Mystery Men being rebooted, unless there is, and we're just really stupid and we didn't actually see it.
There's not.
Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, that actually was reported yesterday." Like, wait, what, really?
We picked the one thing that
thing that actually was released as movie news at this day and age.
So, besides the fact that it's April Fool's, and it just makes sense to do that, we're also in a situation right now where, aside from the fact that we had just a little bit of news this week to cover, there's not a lot of movie news right now. It's dry out there as far as movie news goes. So, we're turning to having to make up some stories if we want to, have fun with some movie news.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's where it's going to be fun having people in a chat. We have decided that since there is no movie news, we'll create our own.
That's what I just said.
We sat down and we thought about roughly some ideas for like what would be some like eye-catching, some funny, what would be some good movie news that you would like to hear about, and that's what we're wanting to talk about here.
We're going to introduce these topics, these movie news topics, and then your role in the chat. I think we want to go. We're making a game out of this. We're going to go round by round. We got 3 topics each. And then we'll have you guys in the chat vote. So if you guys want to chime in the chat there, you'll be able to sound off on which one of us you think had the better headline, the better piece of movie news.
Yeah.
It isn't just headlines. We kind of prepared a little bit more beyond just a headline, but whatever sound, I guess it's going to be up to you to decide. Whatever sounds the most real, whatever sounds the best, whatever sounds the funniest.
Yeah, whatever one tickles your fancy the most.
Yeah, and then we'll declare a winner by the end of this based on what you guys in the chat are going to vote for us. We'll go based off of what we see as the majority rules, since there's like 6 of you watching anyway.
Well, yeah, I think we may have lost some people due to the fact that they're like, oh, they're not actually talking about a Mystery Men reboot. I'm out of here.
No, nobody left for that.
Anyways, so yeah, so we've got a good amount of movie news here to talk about. So I don't know if you want to go first. I go first. You want to flip that Witcher coin or whatever it was you were talking about earlier?
Gosh.
We can flip the nasty ranch bottle.
No, that's ridiculous. You go ahead and go first.
So the one thing I came across
Get your voting fingers ready, everybody.
one of the things I came across apparently is that Disney Pixar has decided to pursue a new movie called Better. And I don't know what the deal is. Like lately, they've only been like the Soul or like just Onward, Up. One word movie titles that are completely like
Toy.
the whole thing. Yeah, no,
Monsters.
that's Toy Story. No,
Finding.
Cars.
Cars.
Anyways,
Incredible.
So this movie is called Better. The story in this movie is about a boy who encounters a witch, and through the way they interact,
Encounter a Witcher.
a witch, not a witcher.
Got it.
Through their encounters, apparently he's going to be turned into a newt. And eventually he does get better. That's right. This movie is through Disney Pixar. It is a spin-off of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Which, this is funny because if you look back, Disney Pixar actually did have a movie called Newt in development for a while there. Which apparently was about 2 newts that like didn't get along, but then through their whatever they're going through, they find out they're actually in love.
Fascinating.
Absolutely, I can see why that movie never went forward.
Because you were giving the pitch for it.
Yeah, apparently, if I had handled it, it would have been like solid. But yeah, so this is gonna be a spinoff of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's going to be again about a boy who's turned into a newt who eventually gets better.
Yeah.
John Cleese is actually signed on to provide the voiceover narration. And of course, music is being done by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So,
well, I'm on board with that. I'm on board with anything.
That's fantastic.
Lin-Manuel Miranda does.
As of right now, the scheduled release date is going to be the week after In the Heights, whenever that gets released.
So not this year.
So I mean, it sounds pretty fascinating.
Yeah, so. I hear that, and obviously, like you got the. Okay, it's weird that you're doing something based off of Monty Python because it's so niche, but it's
one of the greatest comedies of all time. So
sure.
I think they have a good fan base to really focus this in on.
Also sounds a little like that Spies in Disguise. Will Smith got turned into a pigeon.
Is that what happened in that movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you cross Spies in Disguise with Monty Python, and that's like 2 movies you never thought you would ever.
We got 2 hours.
Ever cross.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting. I rate that interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see what the people in the chat think after I give my first headline. Did you know?
Yes, I did.
You did know. Now you know. That's a SEN thing. We're not going to go there. Did you know that Disney Plus, because where else are you going to send things right now? Disney Plus is working on a Lando Calrissian spin-off from the Solo movies. Obviously starring Donald Glover.
Yeah, of course. Because who else would you get to play it?
Right, yeah. I mean, I'm all aboard with that. I mean, I say Donald Glover and Alden Ehrenreich were not the flaws of that movie.
Specifically, Donald Glover. Donald Glover was hands down easily like the best part of Solo.
Right.
Because he was a young Billy D. Williams. He nailed that role.
Absolutely. So it makes sense. Hey, let's go ahead and take him and spin off into another project on Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. It is going to be a movie. The kicker, though, is that this movie is a musical.
Wait, what?
Have you ever heard of a musical in the Star Wars universe? You're about to. This one is it's taking those skills that Donald Glover has in his Childish Gambino persona.
Wait. Donald Glover is Childish Gambino?
Yeah, the same person. Good lord. You heard it here first, y'all. You heard it here first. Taking the skills of his Childish Gambino persona and making a musical out of Lando Calrissian. Sounds fascinating.
Man, I could be down for this, actually.
Well, the interesting thing is that instead of coming up with original music, they're just doing remixes of some of Childish Gambino's tracks. So that means you have songs of the like Red Saber instead of Red Bone.
Here's the thing. I don't know like any Childish Gambino songs except for the one.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. So I'm eagerly waiting for how this is going to turn out.
Me and your Lobot instead of me and your mama.
Me and your Lobot.
And also, this is Bespin. Don't catch Roka slipping up. Hey! We're in it now. We're in it now.
For those who don't understand that reference, again, we're talking about
Schmoedown.
We're talking about John Roca from movie trivia Schmoedown. Go back and watch the early seasons. You'll get that reference. That's hilarious.
Never watch this.
So
the plot that it's describing right now is it's saying this film is about a...
This is Bespin. Don't catch Roka slipping up.
Yes. It's saying this film is about a young inner city man...
Really?
Trying to make a name for himself in gas mining. And he's doing so after losing the Falcon to Han. It's about his struggle to turn over a new leaf, and he finds himself in administrative control over the entire Cloud City resort while trying to keep the authorities and bigger gas dealers off of his trail.
You put way too much thought into this.
I'm telling you, all three of these headlines took me 25 minutes on the toilet earlier today.
Fantastic.
So, yes.
What's funny is he had no other reason to sit on the toilet. He just wanted to sit there and think.
It's my best thinking spot. I only think when I pull down my pants and sit on the toilet.
Well, that's what I believe. If you ever see is it Rodin's The Thinker, the statue of the man? I believe he's actually sitting on a toilet and they just refuse to sculpt that part.
So yeah, a Calrissian musical on Disney Plus featuring remixes of
Childish
Gambino tracks.
That's fantastic.
About a young Calrissian trying to make it in gas mining, and hoping that the bigger gas miners don't come after him, and that the authorities of the Empire don't come after him either.
Well, I feel like I'm done with this.
So, those of you in the chat right now, you want to sound off on round one? Who do you think had the better headline? The better movie news story? Which one of these would you rather see, maybe? I don't know. I honestly wouldn't want to see this Calrissian project at all.
I actually would want to see the new, like, who got better. Like, just because it would be a Disney Pixar that's still kind of tied to the Monty Python movies. Especially, like, so I mentioned that John Cleese is doing, like, the voiceover narration.
Yeah.
I would like to see if they could get any of the other remaining Pythons in on this. Either they have participating, they're writing, or they have some kind of, like, a voice role in
some
it.
Archive footage or something of some of the others that have passed away, too.
Yeah. So that would actually be pretty funny to see that. So are we wanting to wait for the chat to respond and before we move on, or do we just want to move on and just let the chat catch up?
I guess, we can move on. Let's catch up. Once again, guys, go ahead and let us know. Chris, Robert, which one do you think had the better headline on that one?
Just let us know. Round 1, Chris or Robert?
Round 1, Chris or Robert. And then I will continue killing myself with this whiskey Dr. Pepper over here. And we'll move into round 2.
Surprisingly, and I know the movie performed very well, and the soundtrack did phenomenal. In fact, the soundtrack was actually re-released with contemporary artists covering the songs again.
Sure.
So I know that the movie was very well received. I know there was a lot of issues with like public opinion of the actual story of the movie, but apparently they went ahead and they greenlit a sequel to The Greatest Showman. It's currently rumored
That's going to get a lot of people happy.
That's currently being rumored to be in development, the sequel to this. So that's right. Hugh Jackman is back as your favorite ringleader that you hate in real life but love in fiction.
Love his fictional version.
Which is P.T. Barnum. This time he's having to deal with a new surly tiger trainer, which is one Mr. Joe Exotic,
Oh my God.
who will be played by Dax Shepard in this movie. So yeah, this is gonna be all kinds of fun seeing how they interact and
Oh my gosh.
how Hugh Jackman, how P.T. Barnum's still trying to provide for his family and put on a great show that everyone loves, and that Joe Exotic is just wanting to do whatever Joe Exotic does, because I haven't watched that that Netflix show at all. But the nice thing is this is going to feature all new songs, which again, if you remember, like I said, the soundtrack was phenomenal. So this is going to feature new songs such as "This Is Meat."
Definitely fed your husband to the tiger.
Yeah. And of course, all music in this movie is being done by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So.
Oh, well, that's got me on board immediately then, because once again, I love Lin-Manuel Miranda.
As we all do.
As we all do. He's a national treasure. He's an international treasure.
So yeah, Greatest Showman 2.
Featuring Hugh Jackman along with Dax Shepard as Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Timely and topical.
Exactly. I think it's gonna be a hit.
Wonderful, wonderful job.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to not ever see that movie. All right, so we'll move on to my round 2.
Oh.
You thought I overthought round 1. Guess what? You're about to sit there for 30 minutes. Get ready.
He spent a lot more time on the toilet than we all suspected.
It might have been longer than 25 minutes. It might have been 30. This is going to be a kind of a director rumor story. It's a little bit more because there's kind of a little bit of some plot stuff to go along with it. You remember when Scott Derrickson dropped out of Doctor Strange 2, right?
Yes.
And then
worst day of my life. I will never forget that day.
Well, until it was
not because of that, but because of other things.
Sure, shut up. Until it was announced that Sam Raimi was taking over the project. And then it's like, whoa, hold on. It's really cool. Sam Raimi's taking over this project for Scott Derrickson. That's really awesome. Yeah, Sam Raimi's not doing it either. He dropped out. So now...
Wait, really?
Now we have a situation where, okay, who's going to take over for Doctor Strange 2? I don't know why I put a pause in there. But the rumor is right now the wonderful and artistic Wes Anderson is going to take up the role of Doctor Strange 2 director. And they're going to call it Doctor Strange 2 Still Bargaining. Strap in, folks!
I can already see where this is going.
Strap in! Now, rumor has it that... I'm going to read what I wrote here. Rumor does have it that Kevin Feige met with Wes who told him that about taking... butchering my own sentence here. Stick with me. I'm a professional. Rumor does have it that Kevin Feige met with Wes, who then told him about taking the franchise in a totally different direction. Wes showed him concept art that featured a new take on Dormammu, now portrayed by Bill Murray. The reason for this is because Bill has just the right amount of experience in reliving the same moment many times in a row. That's right. This movie will actually focus on an alternate timeline Dormammu who is still stuck in a stranger's time loop from the first film. Throughout the story, he calls upon a merry band of misfits also, each more terrible a human than the first, in true Wes Anderson fashion. The cast is said to be much larger than even Endgame. And besides the obvious return of Cumberbatch, Wong, and Chiwetel Ejiofor...
Oh, good job. Nailed it.
Yeah, it will feature the likes of Owen Wilson, Harvey Keitel, Jason Schwartzman, Frances McDormand, Angelica Houston, Ray Fiennes, and the return of Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster, Tilda Swinton's Ancient One, and Tony Revolori's Flash Thompson. Once again, this is called Doctor Strange 2, Still Bargaining.
So the whole movie is nothing but Doctor Strange, Dormammu, I have come to make a bargain, just over and over and over again.
Yeah, but it's all symmetrical, and there's a random cast of people who just pop in and have a couple lines. They're kind of sarcastic, sort of, and then they move on. And
okay, I might have to concede on that one. Mine was more topical, but yours was definitely like, how did you come up with that one? You're just sitting there like on the toilet and like, oh, it's so obvious. Like,
do not question my thought process.
You know what? Keep the thought process to yourself.
Mostly because I can't answer that question.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't even know my own thought process. If I knew it, I would be a lot more creative.
Oh. So going back into the chat, looks like we've got, for the most part, it looks like round 1 is going to go to you.
Yep.
And so far, it's looking like round 2 is also going to you.
So out of 3 rounds, I've already won this game.
Yeah, I know. If we're doing the best 2 out of 3, he's probably got this hands down.
And we haven't even gotten to my third one yet.
AJ Lancaster says, this is an epic movie fights pitch. Spencer Gilbert would be proud.
I've come to realize that all 3 of my movie news topics are all movie
basically
pitches.
Movie fight.
These are all just movie pitches.
Yeah. That could potentially work.
I kind of feel like that's what you did too, right?
I was hoping so.
Yeah. So basically, this isn't a come up with the greatest movie news headline. It's just come up with
a movie pitch.
Some movie pitches. I'm okay with that.
Speaking of which, round 3. So
fight.
This one is actually like just breaking. Just came out today.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Yeah. Apparently, they've already got the first movie already in regards to the coronavirus. Sorry, I had to say it, but it contributes to this.
By live stream.
Yeah. The first movie about this is already in development. And so they've signed on.
Fascinating that you save this for your third pitch.
Yeah. I mean, save the best for last, I guess.
Sure.
So they signed on John Travolta and Jake Gyllenhaal for this. So it's the first movie in regards to the COVID-19 outbreak. Surprisingly, it's also being touted as a dual sequel. And so this movie's coming out.
Universe.
Huh?
It's like a movie universe.
Essentially, but the thing is this is uniting 2 movies that you had no idea were technically sharing the same universe. Oh. So this movie's coming out. It is called Plastic Bubble Boys with a Z in boys. It is...
Well, Bubble Boy, okay.
Yeah, Plastic Bubble Boys. Because you got Bubble Boy and the boy in the plastic bubble. And of course, they're much older, they're much wiser, they've lived through their experiences growing up in their plastic shelters, and now they're adults and they're having to help train the world how to survive something like what they've basically been raised on.
Right.
So currently the working tagline for this movie is, see? Told ya.
Nice.
And of course, music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, well, then I'm on board with this one as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Because as I've stated 2 times before now, Lin-Manuel Miranda is just the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Plastic Bubble Boys coming soon to a theater near you once they reopen.
Right. So I would have given you more points if it was a cross between Bubble Boy and Footloose.
Like they're dancing too?
Footloose doesn't even star John Travolta, so I would have said Kevin Bacon and Jake Gyllenhaal. Maybe I'm thinking more of Bubble Boy and Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
That would have been a very unique film.
Or Staying Alive, or
yeah, that would have been a very unique film. Unfortunately, you're going to lose round 3 as well. Under the same vein as your COVID pitch, I have a new action-adventure film from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, no.
And it has been greenlit, folks. Make no mistake about this. It has been greenlit already.
Keep your head down. It's coming.
It shows the trials and tribulations of the 72-year-old. Yes, he's 72. That man is 72.
Wait, really? In real life, he is 72?
In real life, he is 72.
Good Lord.
Arnold Schwarzenegger release dates. He is 72 years old, and he's having to confront a dangerous, drugged-up cult in the thick of global duress. The initial plot summary states that while Mr. Sarnold Warrenheimer... Let's let that one sink in for a minute.
Really?
While he's staying locked up inside his home for the safety of himself and others, he's also keeping 2 big, or rather small, secrets. And the Floridian beach cult of the Assembly of Spring Souls Harvesting Adolescent Triviality want nothing more than to see these secrets destroyed. What the asshats don't realize is that these 2 secrets have the power to dismantle all the complete idiocy the asshats have worked so hard to build.
What are the asshats?
Talk about those Florida Spring Breakers. Let me spell out that joke for you, apparently. Watch as Arnold thwarts off this deadly cult trying to invade his home while using these 2 powerful weapons of unity. This year, maybe. Next. Definitely next. Coming to some kind of screen you have access to. Whiskey and Lulu.
Really?
They're taking down one idiot kid after another just in time for a delicious carrot snack and a headlock snuggle. This is Whiskey and this is Lulu. Tyler's got it right. Put the cookie down. This whole action-adventure movie takes place inside Arnold's house. Because he can't leave.
I am quarantined. I can't leave. Apparently he got Hispanic there for a second. Rolled that R.
It's almost as if he was trying to trying to live out the John Voight Anaconda.
We got to kill the snake.
The snake.
The snake. Well, I can't do it as good as Brett Sheridan.
Deep lane.
They sound like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, man. Haskell's out. Thanks so much for jumping in, Haskell. We'll see you later.
Yep, thank you. Oh,
so much fun, though. Can't you believe that Assembly of Spring Souls Harvesting Adolescent Triviality? How dare they?
Now, in real life, I really do like the fact that, I don't know if you saw, but one of the guys that was in, like, the news report saying, like, man, whatever happens, I'm just down here to enjoy spring break.
He caught the COVID.
He came back saying, like, I apologize. My statements were really so. I was like, okay, yeah, no, you apologize after you're already done with your spring break and you've gone back home.
Yeah.
Sure, now you apologize.
Now that you've already given the Rona to 10 people.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, probably gave more than just the Rona.
I have no idea what he's talking about. This is a family channel.
Venereal disease.
The curse of La Rona.
The curse of La Llorona. Anyways, so that was pretty good. So what do y'all think? Let us know in the chat who won that one.
Who put more thought into their headlines? I gotta be honest.
Who had to work all day?
We came up with this idea yesterday.
Last night, yeah. So we've had all of, like, today to figure these out.
You're acting like a bunch of customers are coming into your store right now.
Well, I mean, I still have to work. I mean, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Let's just say. So that was pretty good, though. So who had the better coronavirus movie?
Well, you got to stay topical, and you got to use that that Whiskey and Lulu. Have you seen them? They're adorable. Just adorable.
Yeah.
Little horse, little pony.
Alex Shashek in the chat saying, hey there. She says Chris, most def. Which she's voting for you, and she's voting for the rapper Most Def.
Yeah.
I'm not even in this. Most Def didn't even pitch a movie, and he gets a vote. I'd chop liver. I mean...
Now, can I be honest about something? Of the 3 pitches that I gave right here...
Yeah.
We talked about how long did it take me to come up with these. I can guarantee you 100% that the most amount of time was spent on trying to figure out the acronym for asshat.
Probably. Because you got to get that one like.
Do you know how long I spent on thesaurus.com trying to figure out antonyms for each word I wanted to use that lined up with the letter I was trying to use?
That's funny.
AJ Lancaster hates Whiskey and Lulu.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. My idea wasn't that bad. I mean, Boy in the Plastic Bubble and Bubble Boy together, that's movie gold right there.
It was a pitch heading in the right direction for sure.
Yeah.
It's okay. AJ can give you...
It's gonna be a bad movie.
AJ can give you a pity vote. It's fine.
Mos Def is always the right answer. Fantastic.
I'm not cocky at all.
Yeah. And then of course the other one I had, because I didn't really think this one out. I just like the wording of it. Was so they're developing a sequel to Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Oh yeah.
It's being called Whatever Happened to Baby Jane after Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Well, then what I've stated 3 times before already is...
You haven't even seen the first one. You're like, I'll go see the sequel. Lin-Manuel Miranda, sign me up.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's doing the music, and I heard he's getting also a guest on his tracks of Mos Def.
Mos Def is
Mos Def
apparently
and
on there.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Maybe some Childish Gambino or Donald Glover at this point now, because I don't think he's going by...
I think Gambino's retired. I don't know. This isn't a music channel. We don't know things like that.
Yeah. Anyways, so...
It's a good thing you dropped that pitch.
Worst title ever. What happened to Baby Jane? Whatever happened to Baby Jane after Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. You know, it's going to fill up a marquee pretty well.
It's not marquees that theaters are worried about filling up right now.
It's the seats.
It's seats, screens, registers.
Popcorn machines.
Ooh. I don't want to be the first person to get a batch of popcorn as soon as theaters open back up. That stuff's going to be stale.
Yeah. Anyways,
this is what we're joking about now, folks.
So that was our little game. Let us know in the chat if you're watching us on replay. Let us know
if you'd like
to
take it seriously next time we do this.
We might need to flesh out these. I got some ideas for other games, and some of the ideas I have, unfortunately, are going to require some time to organize and get things together, set up for these games. So I've got one really good idea that I'm eagerly wanting to do. Just because I know that doing that game is what's going to bring... People are going to want to watch that one.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Oh, be very afraid. It's gonna, that one's going to be a lot of fun when I can pull everything together for that. But yeah, let us know what you think. Did you like this game? Did you like this idea? Let us know in the chat, in the comments if you're watching it on a replay. That was a lot of fun to do, even though apparently mine sucked. But
if you're watching on a replay, please drop in the comments who you would have voted for in each round, and maybe we might have to retroactively deem him the winner. Probably not, but you know, it could be a thing.
Yeah. So on to I guess Schmoedown.
Yeah, let's talk about all those Schmoedown matches we got this week.
So we had this week was the Pride versus the Butcher Boys.
Yeah, it's so we get one match now each week, which to be fair is the way it has to go right now, just because they're trying to space them out to make sure we get enough matches leading up to hopefully when this thing starts slowing down and they can get back into the studio and filming again.
Real quick though, again, as we're new YouTube channel, new live streaming stuff. as we're talking about Schmoedown, if you're not familiar with the movie trivia Schmoedown, it is a movie trivia sport. It is the storylines of wrestling mixed with movie trivia. That's essentially what it is. That you get teams or people competing at a table. Whoever wins essentially gets to move on, and there's titles and belts and stuff you can win. Yeah. It is a fantastic sport.
Yeah, so I mean, we are in that situation where this thing that's happening is affecting everything. So we're now getting one match a week, which we are talking about the Pride versus the Butcher Boys. We're not going to talk about the match that's on Patreon right now, which is Odd Couple versus Who's the Boss.
We will be discussing that one next week.
Sure to be a fantastic match if you haven't already seen it.
Yeah.
If you want, I'd actually highly suggest jumping on the Schmoedown's Patreon, and that way you can get these matches earlier. You can get them on Monday instead of having to wait for every Friday. That way you already know what's going on. But yeah, Pride versus Butcher Boy. So there's been some controversy for some reason off of this match, and they were chatting about it on SCN Live today, or on Backstage today, and a lot of talk over, I guess, how the Pride was carrying themselves as far as being heels go. Did you have a problem with it? I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't see anything wrong with it.
I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought they were perfectly fine. In fact, I know there's talk about, there shouldn't be any chatting going on while the other team is trying to answer a question. And as far as we take into consideration that the way the Schmoedown works, the actual question answering time, the actual trivia of it all is real. It's not scripted. It's not predetermined or whatever, like wrestling.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, exactly. In that regard, respect the game. Respect the other team. Let them have as much opportunity as possible to answer the question correctly. Perfectly fine. And so I get the idea, don't smack talk during the game. During questions.
Yeah.
Smack talk before and after questions, before and after match, interviews and all of that. Perfectly fine.
Especially because if you go and you watch the Schmoedown, one of the things you'll notice essentially as a spectator is that when they ask the question on the screen, you see the question displayed there for you.
Right.
You see the. I'm trying to figure out the framing. You see the question displayed down below. Yeah, you see the question displayed there that you're able to follow along. You can read the question. Being in the studio and playing, you don't see the question. There's no monitors. There's no nothing there. Your only interaction with the question is when it gets read to you.
Yeah, all you see is your score and the JTE rules.
You see your score, the JTE rules, and if challenge. You have a challenge still. But yeah, you have to be able to hear and listen to the question. Mm-hmm. If you don't hear the question very well, unless it's just like a complete technical boof, whatever. That's
a word.
Yeah, I'm just making words up.
Technical
at this point.
boofs.
Yeah, it's fetch.
That's gonna be the next game we do. I'm gonna create a pitch off of the term technical boof.
Technical boof. Unless there's a technical boof, if you have to ask to hear the question again,
starring Shia
LaBeouf, just do it.
Just boof it.
Just boof it. If you have to ask to hear the question again, it's one of your repeats, one of your JTEs.
Yeah.
So that's the problem is. Yeah, if someone's talking while they're asking the questions, or you might not be able to necessarily hear it, which, I mean, is fantastic strategy-wise. They can't answer the question if they can't hear the question.
But it's also technically disrespectful when it comes time to respect the actual game of it.
Now, I don't remember. Now, going back to our reaction when we watched this and we react to it, I don't remember that being an issue.
Not initially when we were watching it. It wasn't until later when you hear the general consensus and the talk about that match, post that match happening.
Yeah.
That it all comes down to, I think, that Kevin Smith question where Rachel was saying, "Oh, it's as if you've never seen a Kevin Smith movie." Perfectly fine for her to say that. I think that's oh Lord. AJ says, "Can't wait till they find out what boofing is." I'll let you look that one up later.
I'm looking it up now. Go ahead, keep talking.
God. I thought it was perfectly fine for Rachel to do that, because they. Thanks, AJ.
That's not what we needed this channel to be known for.
Look, it's this. Was it last stream we had fluffing, which we already knew what fluffing is, so it's par for the course at this point. I don't care.
There was a technical booth. That works so much better now.
The thing of it is that every word has a alternate meaning somewhere.
It's usually dirty and pornographic.
Yeah, hop on Urban Dictionary.
Don't say hop on.
Click on Urban Dictionary.
That's better.
You will find every term on Urban Dictionary. Not a sponsor. But yeah, no. So I think Rachel is perfectly within her right to make that crack at them.
Yeah.
In between, them having the opportunity to answer it, and then the Pride having the opportunity to answer it. We should end this video right now. Just kidding. So I think that smack talk is fine, but it's. I think there's complaints because it sounds like. I don't know if Vinny was talking during while the Pride was trying to answer, or I don't know what was happening, in retrospect. But there's just some complaints about that. There's complaints about the way they handled themselves in terms of what got edited out of the video. They were talking about that on SEN earlier. The situations that Christian no longer wants in the matches had to get edited out of the video after it was already released on Patreon. So some people already got to see these situations play out, and it's just it's things that I don't really want to go into just because Christian doesn't want it as part of the Schmoedown anyway, so there's no reason to just spend time harping on it.
Yeah.
But it's those complaints, and then Frank Janisch doing what he does as a commentator for the Schmoedown, as someone who talks about the numbers, talks about the game.
I've heard something about this.
He sounded off on Twitter about how they were carrying themselves, I guess, so to speak, and Ben fired back at him a little bit, going, "Hey, that ain't cool, man. Why are you talking about this? And why are we going off on this?" And there was kind of some back and forth, and then so they were doing some air clearing on backstage today, and just a whole lot of just what I would feel like is just really odd controversy. It's at the end of the day, I think if we don't make a big deal over situations that don't necessarily need to be made a big deal over, everyone's fine and everyone can just carry about their business. I think the big thing was the verbal battle, I guess, on Twitter between Goddard and Janisch. And
how come all the good stuff happens on Twitter? I mean, I hear all the great stuff is all happening on Twitter, and I'm like, man, I need to be more active on Twitter because I suck at social media. Please follow me down below. Here's my Twitter and Instagram handle down below.
There's nothing.
Please follow me. But I suck at social media. Now, part of it is, again, because I work 8 hours a day, and I'm not technically allowed to use my phone while I'm at work. Mm-hmm. So I can't just be pulling out my phone and tweeting and reading tweets and stuff. And by the time I get home, I'm kind of just wanting to decompress and stuff. I'm at full transparency. I'm actually really surprised right now how up and how much I'm participating right now because I'm just completely out of it today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't have the capacity to add full-time social media managing on top of it. Maybe once Cinefanatics goes full-time,
yeah,
and I actually am able to wake up and dedicate my entire day to Cinefanatics, which is going to happen eventually. I have complete faith in this, but until that happens,
Streamlabs right up there.
Yeah, so there's Streamlabs up above his head. There is Super Chat down below. Feel free to help contribute to the eventual full timing of Cinefanatics. But yeah, once I'm able to do that, maybe I'll be able to keep up with social media a little bit more.
The word of advice for you is treat it a little bit differently. Get on Twitter and just comment on things that you see.
And that's what I try. That's what I try to do periodically whenever I'm sitting on the toilet. That's usually the best time.
Sitting on the toilet. Sitting on the toilet.
Tweeting.
Sitting on the toilet. Sitting on the toilet.
Are you trying to make up your own song at this point?
Oh, he's not aware of that. Never mind. Okay.
Is this another SEN thing that I don't get to see because I'm busy at work?
It's been a video on the internet for a while.
Oh yeah, nope, haven't been able to see that. So
for a while,
I haven't been able to see that.
Long time before you even started this job.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I would like to be able to be hip and with it, but
you're old. Got it. So yeah, it was kind of like So AJ says like doesn't even really think it was a huge thing, Twitter included, until Backstage blew up today. I think that is actually the truth. It blew up more on Backstage today than it even was on Twitter. On Twitter, I thought it was just fine. I thought everyone was just fine. I think there's a lot of like drama that gets built up around that, which I get. That situation brings ratings to Backstage, and as far as that goes, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm afraid about there being too much like real life drama instead of going, hey, you know what? This is all kayfabe. Let's treat this as kayfabe. This is all kayfabe. We're in kayfabe with the commentator, with Frank Janisch. He is doing his job somewhat in kayfabe back. I mean, it is also a sport, so you want to commentate on the actual real sports side of it. But at the same time, it's like,
do people who commentate, do they either get to, or should they be allowed to commentate and react within the kayfabe as well? I mean, even like us as reactors to it, we've slightly dabbled in kayfabe.
Sure.
And most of our dabbling was
so break the kayfabe.
Yeah.
Christian hates that.
Most of our dabbling was just in regards to the match that I was in.
Yeah.
And playing along with that because that was a part of the storyline for the reaction.
And I still carry on with that stuff whenever
absolutely.
Whenever something surrounding Burnett pops up.
Your tweet the other day with Burnett, like, why did you put the Burning Troogs in there? And then he like fired back at you.
I put myself in there or whatever. I'm like,
stop it. And you had it was a Modern Family where he was spraying Manny with the water bottle. Stop it.
Yeah, so I mean, there's playing around with that side of it, and until we get an opportunity to enter into a much larger world, that's mostly the extent of where the kayfabe lies in regards to where we're at right now.
It is a lot of fun though.
But I think going back to that, you have a situation where you have someone like Frank who can do realistic commentating on it, talk about the numbers, talk about how the game played, talk about how he thinks the individual competitors played. But then he also is going to understand the kayfabe side of it. So when someone like Ben wants to fire back at him, Ben should choose to do so under the kayfabe guise, leave his real feelings to that at the door, treat it as kayfabe, fire back at him in kayfabe, and then let Janisch come back at him again in kayfabe, and let's just all release ourselves from the actual real drama of it and just treat it as kayfabe.
And I think the real breaking point here is that Frank Janisch is a numbers man.
Right.
He is the person that's reporting on the number, and the numbers are from the actual competition, which again, there's kayfabe, there's a storyline going on, but the competition, the actual movie trivia is real.
Yeah.
So therefore, the numbers that he is reporting are real numbers. They're not like, there's no kayfabe in the reporting of how a team or a person performed on the Schmoedown. So therefore, you would think that there would be no kayfabe with him. Everything he does is the real, actual stats of the game.
But that does not mean he can't play along.
Correct.
When we're talking about how a team carries themselves or how an individual competitor carries themselves.
Yeah.
And they, in turn, want to say something in kayfabe back to him.
Yeah.
Then you play along with it.
And that might be maybe part of the issue is just that people don't realize that he is also capable of playing along. I mean, you look at Gilmore, who is also a part of the Schmoedown Rundown, the after show with Frank Janisch. I mean, they're essentially just talking about, like, recapping the Schmoedown thoughts, feelings, and opinions. He has played in kayfabe before.
Oh, he knows kayfabe like the back of his hand.
Oh yeah, he's a big wrestling fan. So yeah. I mean, first and foremost, that's where kayfabe essentially comes from, is wrestling.
He lives and breathes wrestling.
He works with Booker T. He knows kayfabe. He's played kayfabe. He's played kayfabe with like, say, the call to action people, with all the other reactors.
Yeah,
he's played kayfabe. Essentially, he kind of did it with us too when we did the reaction at the beginning of this season with him.
Yeah.
Make sure to check that out on this channel. Shameless plug.
What else are you gonna do? You're in quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good content. I feel like we've created a lot of good content on our channel. Feel free to go back and watch that. Also, check out his book, Back from the Future. It's going to be in stores next month. So pre-order now.
I feel like he's been sending them out already.
I think he's been sending them out, but I think the official release is still...
Oh, it's in April, yeah.
It's still next month.
Yeah, it's in April.
Yeah. Which I'm actually really eager to read that. That might be... I love Back to the Future. That sounds like a fantastic book. So, yeah, I mean, I get that. I can see where there's, like, issues and confusion, and it just might be, like, this time right now that maybe, like, all aspects of the Schmoedown are not completely fleshed out, where people who are a part of the Schmoedown, or they're a part of, like, official Schmoedown adjacent content, or even, like, those that are just the non-official but still pretty high-ranking Schmoedown adjacent content, we need to start the understanding that these people are also potentially able to play within that kayfabe. And we've mentioned John Roca probably about 50 times now, but I think that's a good one where he has been in all social media. He has been playing his kayfabe character, the Outlaw.
And it's when people fire off at him too.
And people, like, a lot of people just have not understood that he's not acting as John Roca, the human being completely capable of, like, common sense and rational thinking and emotions and sympathy.
Yeah.
They're talking to the Outlaw, his character from the Schmoedown. And that's where, like, we've seen over, like, the past year or so where he's caught a lot of flack from people just not realizing that. And nothing against John Roca at all for it. That's his character. But it's just, people got to get used to how kayfabe works, how this is.
People took his character personally and therefore fired back at him personally, in which case now he's having to step back and be like, whoa, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Are we gonna play this game? Because I'm gonna keep firing off at you under the guise of the Outlaw, but now you're attacking me personally, and how do I feel about that personally?
Yeah, and so the couple of things that I've seen him do, God bless him, he has not broken character at all. The only way he was essentially saved or redeemed was other people stepping in and going, hey, y'all, you realize he's just acting as his outlaw character. He doesn't actually mean this in real life. He's not going to admit it because he's in that character.
Yeah, and
you need to back off.
We're seeing, like, the great rift that was between him and Call to Action even got healed. Christian really convinced him, like, dude, you need to do Chill to Action. You need to go on their channel because it's going to be good stuff for you. It's gonna be a great opportunity for you to kind of let people get to know you a little bit more behind the scenes, and they will treat you with respect, and they did.
They absolutely did.
And it was fantastic.
It was a fantastic episode, and it's one of the catalysts to them hitting over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
which was fantastic. I love to see that kind of growth, but like, we don't have that kind of, like, homegrown type of rivalry with anyone except, like, Burnett, but I guess.
But I guarantee right now, if you ask Burnett who are Robert and Chris Adams, he's gonna go, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, we've had a couple of good talks with him, and he's
Maybe. I mean, if you attached our names next to our pictures online, then maybe yeah. But for the most part, I mean, we play around with it, but it's still, again, like we said earlier, it's still very loose in that world because we just haven't been granted the opportunity to really play in that world to a greater extent, which is perfectly fine for right now, especially given the situation that the whole world is in at the moment.
We can't really travel anywhere, and there's
No one
nowhere
can
to
travel.
really travel to.
Yeah, I mean, you're also looking at, like, prior to the whole quarantine, all that stuff, the Schmoedown season this year was already having to, focus on so many newcomers, so many people within these factions who needed to be given matches that
If you weren't
have a hard
actually
time
drafted,
I have a hard time believing anybody who is considered a free agent would even get a match this year. Outside of
completely understandable.
outside of like an exhibition or I need you specifically for a storyline of some sort.
Yeah, completely understandable given what the season, what the show was built up on.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's completely okay. It's just going to be really entertaining. So I'm eager for that.
So I mean, going back to that match, on the flip side, you have the Butcher Boys. You got Owen Mugen and Vinny Mancuso making their debuts in the Schmoedown, which Vinny writes for Schmoedown. Owen is a producer.
Yep.
And so, as far as like kind of coming out of nowhere, they held their own pretty well. I would say, I don't even know if I could properly argue that the reason they lost that match was just because they're rookies. Or just because they haven't had enough time under the lights.
A lot of it might have also been just a lot of it was the spin of the wheel. Like in round 2, I know they got Kevin Smith, which is a huge strength of Rachel Silvestrini.
Yeah.
So that really was that. Like if you spin something that is that big of a strength, you either are on top of your game or you're losing the points.
Right.
You're going to give up points easily. If you don't know it, points are gone, and the other team will get those points. It's just a matter of something like that happening.
You can slow it down if you obviously go to multiple choice on each one, but
you're still going to give away 1 point.
At the end of the day, you're still giving away points. Yeah. So, I mean, you look at their situation, and it's not... I wouldn't even fault them for spinning away from Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Because specific actors and actresses are very broad categories. You spin that, you're going to get any number of things of which actor portrayed a character in this Scarlett Johansson movie. And it's like, well... I don't know. I thought I was going to answer a question on Scarlett Johansson. So it makes sense to hedge your bets and spin away from that. Unfortunately, yeah, they land on the strength of their competitor, which is going to happen in the Schmoedown. Anything can happen in the Schmoedown. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those where it just comes down to an unfortunate series of luck for them that they didn't win their first match. But I think as a team, they still had a really good showing.
Yeah.
And I think, they had that time under the lights already. Next match they get, look out.
I do like the team of Ben Goddard and Rachel Silvestrini. I think the Pride is a fantastic team. I'm happy that they worked very well together because I like seeing Rachel Silvestrini partnered with someone that essentially complements her in her knowledge.
Right.
I know a lot of people were always were saying that it would be great. They would love to see Rachel Silvestrini and Janine the Machine, both of whom are, like, I would say, kind of underrated players that should be like going into tournament season this year as people to watch. A lot of people were like, well, I want to see them partner in a team. The problem is they're both pretty equal in knowledge. Mm-hmm. So if you're equal in knowledge, you're not really going to compliment someone. Say like you and me. You don't know about horror movies, and I'm a walking horror dictionary, so to speak.
I wouldn't have added the dictionary on there, but okay.
Funny. So if there's something where my knowledge helps benefit you, and your knowledge of La La Land is going to benefit me.
Because he refuses to watch it for a second time.
I wouldn't say I refuse, but I just need to be highly.
The second time is where I found out I loved that movie, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe. I just need to be highly encouraged to watch it again, maybe. But I've got a lot of other movies I need to hit up too. So, in fact, if you have any movies you would recommend, feel free to let me know down below. You can hit up my Letterboxd. It's also at my address, Robert Adams MLP. Come follow me on there. Check out movies that are in my watch list and recommend some, because there's times, it's funny, I go through that and I see like movies, I'm like, ooh, I want to watch that, I want to watch that. I'm at the middle of work, okay? I don't have, I'm sitting there looking at my Letterboxd while I'm at work, and I don't have the opportunity to watch those movies, and so therefore I want to watch all the movies that are on there. I'm at home, it's my day off, and I'm like, I want to watch a movie. I pull up my Letterboxd, I'm like, nah, I don't want to watch that. Nah, I'm not in the mood. No, that doesn't. Yeah. I need to focus more than I'm willing to give my attention on for that movie. Yeah. And I hate that. So.
Yeah. So, going back to Schmoedown, we're probably about wrapped up on this talk. So go ahead and get those. I know you typed it in the chat there. Go ahead and get those questions in. Any questions you guys want to ask us? Anything that you feel like you want to know about us specifically? We're gonna be doing this a lot over the next month or so.
Yeah.
So get those questions in. Get to know us real well. Apparently over the course of this isolation time. But yeah, I mean, as far as that match goes, I thought it was a great match.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more out of both those teams. I know we've stated before, time and time again, on both our reactions and during these live streams, you know, we've been first and foremost dungeon heads. We love supporting our dungeon. We love supporting Kevin Smets, but the Den is, I feel like the Den for me is just
the next one.
Really close second, like right there behind.
And I would say the only reason I was probably like more wanting to support the Den is, one, I mean, we don't know the guys from the dungeon. Thanks to this reaction, I mean, at least we've...
Other than Kaiser and Smets.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, for this particular team.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know the two who are in this team. We haven't had any interaction with them.
When we give predictions on matches during reactions, we usually go
unbiasedly. We know Rachel Silverstreet. We've had multiple interactions with her. Mm-hmm. We've talked to Ben Goddard before. We've had interactions with him as well. Both of whom, from at least the fan perspective, had the more experience, so therefore that was who we kind of leaned with.
Yeah.
Rather than just going blindly to the dungeon just because it's the dungeon.
Right. And also Kate is the best.
Kaiser's good too.
Kaiser's great. Kate is Kate. So
Kate has a fanny pack.
Kate's got a magic fanny pack that anything and everything can
that puts to shame Mary Poppins' carpet bag.
So far,
I think I said that before on like some live stream chat.
Mary Poppins pulled a lamp from her bag.
She
before?
pulled a lamp from her bag.
Nobody needs that. Nobody needs a lamp in the Schmoedown.
Kate pulled out ribs. I mean, we're from Texas. Who are you gonna go with? A lamp or ribs?
I mean, I love lamp, but I also love ribs.
I saw what you did there. Good job.
Finger guns.
I'm sitting here like trying to sound like if you ever go to the optometrist. For those of you who have glasses or corrective eyewear, or
those
something,
of you whose vision sucked like ours.
Lamp or ribs? Lamp or ribs?
I see a rack of ribs. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a lamp.
You should have been seeing ribs the whole time. So, anyways, yeah, we're actually probably going to end this one a little bit early. If y'all had any questions, doesn't look like there's...
No one's dropping anything yet. Got nothing on the Streamlabs, nothing in the Super Chats, nothing in the regular chats. I think we will probably call it an early night on this one then.
Yeah. There's a lot of other... again, I talked about this earlier. There's a lot of people in this space, in like, I guess, Schmoedown adjacent content that's streaming. I know there's a big one that's going on right now. This second is Video Drew doing a live stream with celebrating.
It's happening right now, isn't it?
It is, and I kind of want to hop on there.
Yeah,
just because it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to call this one early night.
She's celebrating Eric Rodriguez, who is the editor, the video editor of the Schmoedown. And really, he's a huge inspiration, I would say, for me, because I do like a lot of the editing. I know, I'm guessing inspiration for you because you do your own editing for your videos aside as well.
just his work ethic. His work ethic, besides the fact that his edits are fantastic regardless.
Yes.
His work ethic is what I actually really like. Super get behind is, I want to be able to have the work ethic that he has when it comes to editing projects and whatnot.
Yeah, so today's his birthday. I want to go over and check those out. Let me see. Kelsey Kirkland posted a trailer reaction tonight. Have another posting tomorrow. Fantastic.
Get on it, yeah.
I want to see small creators just like us grow them. Kelsey Kirkland is a part of that Call to Action podcast channel that we talked about earlier.
Rocking her own YouTube channel now too.
She's doing her own YouTube channel. So I'm eager to see growth from pretty much everyone that we're associated with, because this is a fantastic space to be in. If you know how to play YouTube right, this space is so much fun to be in. I am thoroughly enjoying being a YouTuber.
We got our friends out here. It's nice to be able to come up with them as well.
Yeah. So
everyone sees success at the same time. We all support each other.
So we're gonna go check out those other videos. That's pretty much going to, I guess, call it for tonight. Go check out.
Where can the kids find us?
The kids can find us. You see our Twitter. I guess this is both our Twitter and our Instagram handles down below. Right there. Make sure you follow us. You can also follow the entire Cinefanatics channel. We are on Twitter and Instagram at CinefanaticsMLP. You can follow us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/groups/Cinefanatics.
That's my thing. You don't take it.
I just felt like I needed to do a hand gesture. I'm all about the hand gestures at the camera type of thing.
No.
All right, Palpatine, calm down. Anyways,
that's where they found us. Schmoedown. Go SEN Schmoedown Entertainment Network. Go check out the Schmoedown over there. Check out SEN Live weekdays, and then we talked about Call to Action earlier. Go check them out. Call to Action on YouTube as well. Call to Action podcast, I should say. On YouTube as well. They're doing really cool interviews with a lot of those Schmoedown personalities and really fun debates. I know they're doing the Roca versus Bibiani.
John Roca versus William Bibiani.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, so go check all that out, and that's going to pretty much do it. So let's roll that music, and here we go.
Beautiful bean footage.
The beautiful bean footage, which doesn't have anything to do with movies, but we like saying that phrase anyways. We will see y'all again next week for the tagline. Anyways, that's going to do it for the Cinefanatics. I'm Robert Adams. That's Chris Adams. We will see y'all next week. Later.
See ya.